I'm Carolyn.
And I'm Bethany.
And we are Sisters in Song.
And today we have the pleasure of having a couple of members from the band Oakdale Drive. They are a band from a small town of Ayden, North Carolina, which consists of August Meyer on vocals and guitar, Vincent DiGiozio on vocals and bass, and Jose Tecante on drums. Together, they have released a debut album, a Christmas single, and their newest single entitled Dead Ringer. They are currently writing and recording a concept album and are playing shows around Eastern North Carolina. They've amassed over 7.9 thousand streams on Spotify this year to listeners across 68 countries.
Welcome to the show. We're so glad to have you.
We are so
glad to meet you.
Yeah, welcome. So I guess first question, can you tell us how you all got started in music and like what got you interested in writing songs?
How'd you meet each other and all that?
So the band actually formed by our friend of ours, Jaden Pestro. He was a friend from high school, and one day I had a bio in a slideshow production for like a get to know you in class kind of thing. It was for a math class, and I put that I've been starting to learn guitar, and I learned 5-string banjo. I was really Scott Avett was a big influence on me, so that's really how I started to get on.
I'm wearing my Avett Brothers t-shirt.
Oh, nice. But yeah, he read the bio and he was like, "Hey man, I'm trying to learn guitar too. You think we could jam together sometime?" And the next day he came to my house and we wrote a song together. The first 3 months of us starting out, we didn't play any covers. We only just wrote things, and it was pretty crap stuff. I will say that.
Everybody always says that.
Yeah. And Vinny came along. Do you remember when you came along?
I do remember because it was the day that Spider-Man No Way Home came out because I had to miss it. It was like the 17th of December, 2021. I remember the day exactly that I came in. I would have came like sometime around like late November to try to start practicing for that. And we played on the stage. So how did you get into music though? Like before?
How did I get into music? Oh, it was during COVID. I was so bored. I just picked up guitar and I wanted to just like learn a whole entire song like this. And I tried and I just was so frustrated. I tried to play a D minor. That was the first chord I ever learned. But then I just played every day until then, and then just try to get better every day. How did you get started?
So I had a friend on Xbox named John, someone who I'd been like playing Xbox with mine. He had played guitar. I don't know how he got into it, and he would always like play it in like Xbox parties in between games. And I thought it was really cool. But I didn't want to get guitar because he had guitar. I wanted to be like a companion, so I decided to like get a bass guitar. I started on that. And also because of there was a bass line from Nirvana's Nevermind that I really loved. It's a song called Lounge Jack that's a little bit deeper in the track list. And guitar just kind of like came later that year. And I just I do play guitar, but I do primarily still consider myself a bass player. Like that's my thing. I love the bass guitar so much. I love the sound of it. And so when they needed a bass player, I was super stoked and I was super available because I wasn't really doing much,
So where does the name Oakdale Drive come from?
It's actually a very basic name. We didn't have a name for like 4 months, and our high school band teacher, his name's Mr. Blackman, he asked us, he was like, "All right, so you have a band, what's your name?" And we were like, we have no idea. Like we had no clue what to name it. And he was like, "What do you live on?" I said, "Oakdale Drive." Yeah. He was like, "That's it." And we didn't consider anything else. We were just like, "All right, fine, we're at Oakdale Drive."
I was gonna say, we're on Oakdale Drive right now.
Currently,
this house is on Oakdale Drive.
Well, that's fantastic. But you can never move now, though, right? You can't stay there forever.
A lot of promotional pictures in front of the street sign.
I have seen them actually on your Instagram.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. That's awesome.
That is fantastic. So tell us,
I want to know more about this concept album.
Yes.
Oh,
what is
wow.
The concept? Tell us more.
It's like, so the album that we're currently working on, am I allowed to give the title away?
Sure, give the title away.
Give the title away. So this is the first time the title's ever been said. It's called, on a public forum, it's called Travel to Eternity. And it kind of comes from this idea that, my biggest fear in the world, not to get too existential, has always been time. Because like no amount of money or power can ever stop you from time. It'll always keep marching forward. And that kind of it's where this whole thing started. And I think it's just an entire album that deals with themes of time and the vastness of space. And sometimes you want time to slow down and you want to live in a little bubble. And sometimes you just wish everything went by a lot faster. And I guess that's really it's just it's almost like a chronicle of at least the parts that I wrote of it, or like my teenage years, and just like wondering where I fit in and what I'm going to do. And high school went by really fast for me, and that really kind of is what put this in my head. It's just like, wow, 4 years and it's over, and that felt like nothing. And I kind of wish like no, it's crazy because I both wish it had gone faster and slower at the same time, and it kind of just inspired me to be like, what if there was a whole album that we did that was just about like where you are and how things are and how fast things are going and just your place and everything, figuring it all out, like just existentialism essentially.
I like it. Do you know when it will come out? Are you still in the process of working on it?
We're recording it right now.
Yes, yeah, we're very busy with recording. Probably am thinking in summertime next year, but it's taking
at the earliest.
At the earliest.
Yeah. Ourselves a lot of time, but it almost feels like it's not enough. But hopefully it will come out in 2024. Originally we aimed for summer. We're still aiming for summer. And as of now, it seems doable. But the possibility that could be a little bit later is still on the table. We're okay with that. We haven't announced a release date for that very reason, that we're kind of trying to give ourselves the flexibility, because we don't want to like be locked in a deadline and release something that's not as great as it could be. When it's ready, it'll be ready.
And our newest single, Dead Ringer, we recorded it at the same time we were doing the concept album, but we wanted to give the audience like a taste of what's to come.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the tone and the style we were going for the concept album.
Because the first album, which I played a few songs on, but was written pretty much entirely before I got here by him and Jaden Pesco, who you mentioned earlier, is a very different kind of album stylistically. How would you describe the first album?
It's very lo-fi, acoustic, kind of.
I thought it was like folk rock.
Folk rock, yeah.
Oh, cool.
This is more like punk adjacent to garage rock. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's definitely a lot more harder and based more on energy. So Dead Ringer is supposed to be kind of like an appetizer to be like, well, we're kind of a different band now, because people.
Yeah, I can totally hear the difference between.
Yeah, I don't like shock people who listen to the first Oakdale Drive album and then like Travel to Eternity comes out and they're like, whoa, what was that? And it's like we release singles and people are like, okay, so this kind of a new sound that they're experimenting with.
That's cool.
How exciting. That's cool. I can't wait till it comes out in the summer so you can check it out.
Oh, nice.
Have you ever written songs or like collaborated with anybody else besides your band members, or written for someone else, or?
Ooh, so sometimes I would have, people, I have kind of side projects here and then, and friends would be just coming over randomly and we just start jamming on something. And we just see what happens. I just create riffs sometimes out of nowhere, and sometimes it turns into full-on songs. But I don't think we're at the level yet we can write for someone else. But
that's a future endeavor.
That's right. If you know anybody who wants a song, we can write them one.
Well, we might need help with melody, because that's where we're kind of stuck on. We write the lyrics, but we're just learning guitar. So I feel your pain. We started learning guitar during COVID years too, and trying to learn online, and now we're learning with a teacher, so it's getting a little bit better, but I feel your pain trying to learn online.
Yeah, we're definitely lyricists first and then learning the music part.
I'm right. I kind of have lyrics a little more important than music, because I want the lyrics to like paint a picture and use a lot of vivid imagery in a lot of the songs. Like a lot of the songs in the new album, I sat down for like an hour and just wrote out the lyrics, and does this line fit? Does this line make sense? Is this line good? And I asked Vinny, and we got second opinions. And like the lyrics on this next album, we really have gone into depth and focused on them.
Yeah, and I'm kind of the opposite. Now, I mean, I do care about the lyrics, but I've never written a song before where the lyrics existed before the song. I always, and I think that's because I've always really, two of the bands I listen to a lot are Metallica and ZZ Top, and they both have a lot of instrumental work. So I kind of can take a song that doesn't have lyrics and enjoy it. So usually I write something. I don't write it with an intended to be an instrumental, but I write it as if it was an instrumental first, and then I add a melody and say, okay, what could this song be about? every once in a while, it'll like I'll just hear the music and be like, okay, that's what it's about, and I'll know the general theme. But sometimes, like the whole instrumental and the melody and everything, every part of it is completed, and I'm like, okay, what's this about? So that's kind of like the difference between us, and I think we balance each other out very well.
Yeah,
as songwriting partners.
We don't write exclusively together. We're not like Lennon and McCartney, but that we bring, we're just like, hey, can we add a line? Can you add a verse? Can you add this music?
As you know, a very good example of this is one of the tracks on this album, the third one. Should we say the name of the song? I don't know what we should.
Let's just call it The Back Seat.
Oh, the back. One of the tracks on this album, I think the most literal representation of that is a song that I wrote, like the main like verse to, and then like the instrumental to it, and then he came through and added like lyrics and a chorus. Like it's the most like literal example of me writing a bunch of music and him being able to just like put lyrics first onto it.
He actually wrote it. I had a guitar in my back seat of my car, and I was driving him home, and he wrote this kind of piece of music. I was like, oh, that's cool. Can I work on that? Do you have I have permission? And I took it that weekend and wrote some stuff to it, and then we went back together on the following week and just kind of wrote the song, and then we performed it a week later.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's so you bounce a lot of ideas off of each other. That's cool. That's good.
Yeah.
We try to do that too. And we write on our own too, and then we take it back to each other. We do a lot of our writing on road trips to see concerts. And so we bounce a lot of ideas off each other on our long road trips.
What do you guys do when you like struggle with a song, or do you ever get writer's block, and how do you handle that?
Oh yeah, I get writer's block a lot of times. You want to talk about your writer's block?
So a really funny thing is this album is mostly me. The last album was a lot of him, and I think the one after it will be a lot of him too, because this has been really stressful. Before this album that we're working on, I didn't really write anything for the band. I used to write with a friend of mine named Sierra when I first started around 2019, and then I kind of just stopped writing music. And then when I got back in the band, I was kind of complacent with just playing whatever they had written, and that's how it was for like over a year, almost 2 years, a year and a half, and then. It was the summertime of this year. I just like graduated from school, and all of a sudden I had like whatever the opposite of writer's block. I just had an explosion of ideas. Like I kid you not, it was like from like 1 a.m. to 7 a.m. I literally composed like half of this album's instrumentals. Like I just put I put like 6 songs together. I was like, I've not written like this in years.
He would also send me the songs immediately once he written it too. Yeah. I was just got so many messages of little recordings.
And it was crazy because like I said, I'd written an instrumental for our first album, and that was kind of it. And then all of a sudden I was just like, man, I this isn't like I had enough for an album on its own. It was like 7 or 8 songs, and a lot of those are still up here. I think one of them might have gone a different way, but like I've written some other songs since then that have gone into the album. And then I've also written Dead Ringer. There's been a few, but like that was like the first big explosion, and that's where a lot of the album songs come from. And that was really weird because I don't know what triggered that, but I just suddenly just had like the greatest like creative moment of my entire life just one night at like 1 a.m.
Mm-hmm. He told me about this concept album, and I kind of took it into my own world. I was like, okay, how do I write it with this style? So in like a couple of weeks, he told me to write 3 or 4 songs. I had like 6 done. So we had to pick and choose between which one was, okay, and then which one didn't really fit. And we've constantly, battled over the track list. Some songs
hard to narrow it down.
It's not exactly the same as it was when we first conceptualized it. I think I would like to think that it's in its final form, but you never know. I mean, I thought that before. Either of us could write something tomorrow that's just good numbers. Like, well, this has to go. But as far as I'm concerned right now, the album is as it's going to be. I can't realistically account for things that might spring up. So all I can say is I think we figured out the track list.
I think we said too.
That's cool. Have you been playing any of the other songs live besides Dead Ringer?
Oh yeah. We basically, what we want to do, we have sort of live shows. We try to do once every month, and we did 4 in November. We're doing one we did. We're doing one in this year for like a New Year's Eve show. But we try to, with respect to, the covers that we do, we try to, present all of our new songs in a live format just to see the audience reaction.
Yeah.
I mean, we did the one that we're performing in a couple of minutes. Do you want to give the name?
It's called a Hilton Rooftop in Rome.
Yeah, we've done that 9 times since we first written it, just to see how people liked it.
Yeah, I mean, there's one song got onto the album, and not only got onto the album, but got onto the album as a single from one live performance alone. Like, it was just something that it's one of those songs that I added later that wasn't a part of that initial like creative batch. And you know the one I'm talking about. And we played it at like a fun park venue, and the reception was so overwhelmingly positive that when we got back, we said that's on the album. And then like a few days later, we're like, that's a single, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, people were humming the chorus to the song that they just heard.
I did not, but like that was like a sleeper. I just put that up there because I thought it would be fun, but people really liked it. And so yeah, that one really fought its way onto the track list.
Yeah.
That's a winner right there. If you get audience participation, you know that's a winner right there. So outside of songwriting, what other, and doing band stuff and performing, what other things do you guys do just for fun? Like other interests that you might have?
Together or separate?
Whatever. So separate and together.
From New York City.
And the greatest thing ever to me.
Me, Vinny, and Jose, who's our drummer. He drums on. We're trying to get him on most of the track list for the album. He's phenomenal.
He's not in the band anymore. Technically, he doesn't play with us live. He played with us for about a while. He's
about 6 months.
Yeah, we loved him, and then personal issues. He just didn't have time to practice anymore. But this like album is like his coda. It's like his farewell. He's coming in. He's going to play on it, even though he's not technically like a traveling member of Oakdale Drive anymore. And we went to New York with him. And some people, they go to the big city and they're really disappointed. I think it's called Paris syndrome when you go to a city and it's like not the idealized. I have like the opposite version of that. I was like, oh, it's New York. Like, it's cool. I was actually almost expecting Paris syndrome. I expected it to be okay. Blew me away. I'm in love with it. I would love to go again. That's one of my favorite places I've ever been.
One of our songs was in a short film at a film festival in New York City. It was from the first album, and the Jaden Pesto, what we were talking about earlier, he actually starred in the film. So
wow!
He unfortunately couldn't come, but we got to see our song on the big screens. That was pretty cool.
In Manhattan.
Manhattan, yeah. Times
That's
Square.
Really cool. So does Jaden still play with you guys then too?
No,
not anymore.
We had some creative differences, and he also went off to school.
Yeah.
But we still respect him.
Yeah, he moved on. He's played with us a few times since he officially left the band, but it's usually just like he's home for like a few weeks. So we just like get together and play like a show. For the most part, he's pretty out of Oakdale Drive, but his contributions are cannot be understated. Especially on that first album. He really is a part of the makeup of the band, and we appreciate everything he did.
To your question about what do we do outside of the band?
Yeah,
cook a lot.
You cook a lot. That's cool.
Album called "Cooking in the Kitchen." And that was the first song I kind of wrote for the album, and that kind of segued the whole folk rock kind of thing. We put a mandolin, a double bass, banjo, and some guitar. We had a guitar solo, and that's one of my personal favorites from the first album, because it was like a hobby I did that I just was just like, this is so fun. I'm just gonna write a song about it. So that's kind of came together.
Yeah. We have a so when we released the first we released discs with the first album on it. We have
let me show.
We have a petition on the wall that was made by people to put cooking in the kitchen on Spotify. It's on Spotify now because the album came out. But like petition because they really wanted them to do it.
This is the list for everyone that signed.
You can see me and Jose's names are at the bottom in different colors because we're special.
That's great.
Oh my gosh, fantastic.
He played double bass for his high school. I graduated earlier this year, and
I was going to ask you guys. I was going to say, are we allowed to ask how old you are?
Just turned 19, like 2 weeks ago.
I'm 17. I'm still learning.
I know I said my biggest fear is time. I'm horrified about it. I got less than 365 days left as a teenager, and that is not sitting well with me. I'm not ready. Someone asked me.
Too young to worry about your age.
A year from now, if someone asks me how old I am, I think I'm gonna freeze up if I have to say 20. Like I don't know. So afraid.
Well, you guys seem like you are going to have a really bright future ahead.
Yeah.
I'm excited
Thank
for you. So we have should we go to these?
Yeah.
We have 3 questions that we ask everybody at
Okay.
the interview. So we're going to start with the first one.
Which is, who are your influences?
You want
You want to go first?
You can
Oh.
both, yeah, tell it, you both tell us. You guys are great.
I would have to. I already said Scott Avett of the Avett Brothers.
Yep.
More recently, Paul McCartney, huge
Yeah.
influence. The way he just plays everything. Like I've tried to do that on like cooking in the kitchen. He's so much better. He's like, I really admire how he can just like go into a studio, record everything, produce, mix everything. It's just like, oh, I'm a director, that's it. But like, that's Paul McCartney's big influence. David Gilmour, I can't really solo well. I can't really do the like the fast kind of things. So his solos, like they give me kind of relief. I would have to say, because if I try to do some like fast thing, I'm like, what would David Gilmour do? He would do it slow. So a lot of the songs on the new album that I solo, which is I think 2 right now, I tried to just keep that in mind and just like play it melodic and add to the song, that kind of thing. But those are probably my biggest influences, I'd have to say. What about you, Benny?
Well, I wanna shout out McCartney because McCartney is legendary. I don't know how much influence he has in my music personally. I think there's some Metallica in there. I think there's some unspoken Nirvana and Foo Fighters. I don't really bring that up a lot, but I think that's a lot of because that's like the thing that got me into this at first. And I had another one and I cannot remember what it is for the life of me. It might have just been those 3 actually. Metallica, Nirvana, and Foo Fighters are a lot of those. Pearl Jam is one I appreciate a lot, and one influence I really like was Michael Jackson. I love the melodic nature of Michael Jackson's music.
I also love Bill Withers. He's such a cool guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's so soulful. I try to write like Bill Withers. Nothing comes close to Bill Withers.
Love it.
I was
Okay.
music.
Go
I
ahead.
love. Yeah, he's so cool.
So this one's kind of a hard question,
Uh-oh.
but do you have a favorite lyric or song? And it can be something you wrote, it can be something one of
Somebody
your
else
favorites wrote, or just something that kind of sticks out to you. What is it and why is it stand out for you, or why is it your favorite?
Hey, it's a John Lennon song. It's called Beautiful Boy, Darling Boy. It's from his Double Fantasy album. And the lyric is, life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans.
Wow.
I think that's such a prophetic lyric, if that makes sense. It's just so, I don't know how to describe it. It's just, like that's beautiful. And it was so sad that it was about his son and he died the year it was released. It was just, it's so hard to listen to. And actually, Paul McCartney heard that song in an interview and he just started crying. And he was just so emotional. What about you, Vinny?
Well, I could say the entirety of either Living Colors, Cult of Personality, or Billy Joel's Vienna, because those are my 2 favorite songs ever. But if I had to pick one, it would be Vienna's chorus. That when the truth is told that you can get what you want or you could just get old. I know I've talked a lot about like my fear of growing up, but that song's like really helped me a lot. It's probably one of my favorite song ever.
Cool. I love it. I love it. Okay.
Okay, what advice would you all give to songwriters, new songwriters, or new musicians?
I feel like people should be giving us advice. Advice. I don't know. Well, just keep doing it and do it a lot. You got to do it with practice, and if you're any good, if you keep on doing it, you're just gonna get better. And it's good to have a partner in crime.
Yes.
To kind of share your ideas. If you're like a solo artist, all props to you. Good job. But if you have someone to tell you like, dude, lose this chorus. This chorus is not great. It's really refreshing. Or if your writing partner is like, oh, that's really good, you should keep that. Gives you that kind of motivation to do it more.
Right.
So.
I was going to say something adjacent to that. I was going to say if you are writing with people, never alienate them, because you always want someone there who you're very open to listening to, who can tell you when something's good and when something's not. You never really want to like be very closed-minded about what you let into your song. You know, you don't want to change anything because in the future they might not say anything, and you might miss out on that perfect thing that they come up with.
That's very sound
Yeah.
advice. I love it.
Yeah.
Both of those.
See, you gave great
Those
advice. Perfect.
Okay. Time
you.
for your shameless plug. Where can we hear your music, see you live? We already talked about your amazing album that's coming up, but what else do you got in the works?
Well,
I'll say the plane thing.
Okay.
He always says the
Our
plane
song
thing.
is on airplanes. We
Yes!
released a Christmas song and it's on
Every time.
airplanes.
Every time.
I tell that to so many people and they're just like, I don't care, but I care. Like
He's
that my
so
song.
proud of the plane thing.
Yeah. But other than the airplanes, you can find it anywhere music is heard, Apple Music, Spotify, our YouTube channel. We have a lot of, behind the song kind of thing where we talk about our
One for
songwriting.
each track on the last album.
Yes, one for each track by the writers that made it. So, YouTube live shows. If you're around Ada, North Carolina, then you will be great. You can come see us. I don't know about anywhere else.
Really just around Greenville.
Greenville,
We kind of we're in that
Okay.
metro.
yeah, but we're looking to do a lot more live shows. So.
What's the name of the Christmas song?
It's Christmas Time on Oakdale Drive, and it was released 1 year ago today.
Oh, very good. Happy 1 year anniversary.
Yes, it's the 1 year. Oh, we tried to get it to say it's Christmas Time on Oakdale Drive on the platforms like Spotify and Apple Music. They emailed me and they were like, "We can't do that," and we had to put it's Christmas Time on
In parentheses.
in parentheses, and it was so sad. It was Christmas Time on Oakdale Drive. That was not the song.
It gives a character.
Yes,
Why?
Did they
I
give you?
don't- That's really
But-
weird.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, we would love to hear you guys play a song for us.
Oh yeah, let's
Wow.
do
And
it.
tell us the name one more time.
Hilton Rooftop in Rome.
This is the 5th track on Travel to Eternity. It's been played, you said 9 times?
It's been played 9 times. Yeah.
And it's about a trip that I took to Italy last summer. And
Will you record it on your phone or something on your voice memo?
Yeah,
yeah, it's
recording
recording
right now.
Yeah, on Zoom. Okay, perfect.
Wow.
Perfect.
I'm really nervous.
All right,
I'm
we're gonna
nervous
mute
too.
ourselves.
Let me take my jacket off. Just,
We usually do an electric version of this song with pretty heavy hitting drums. So, but we've done acoustic maybe
Yeah.
once in the past, so
This is
we might be a little rusty.
it's
but-
pretty intimate.
Yeah. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Three, two, one.
For a time I can disappear. it's me. It's a sad tale, 'cause it's me and you, 'cause never okay. Cause it's me and you, and it's a sad thing. 'Cause it's me and you, and you're okay, okay. Not much to say today. I wouldn't have it any other way. That was thank
fantastic.
you because
Thank you.
It was very nerve wracking. Never get. The first one's always hard at any show. You know, the second song is always easy, but the first song of the night is like we played one recently. My legs were shaking. I thought I was gonna collapse. I could feel it's like I was trembling.
Oh my gosh.
We're so excited about your new album
Oh my
coming out
gosh,
too.
yeah.
You guys are ones to watch for sure, because that was
Absolutely.
amazing.
Absolutely. Let's see. I usually do a little outro, but I'll record it later. But definitely, and I'll edit all of this part out. But definitely, listeners, if you are in or around Ayden, North Carolina, or Greenville, go check these guys out. I think you got your finger on the pulse, guys. I'm excited to see where you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
immensely.
Well, I have a question. Where can I follow you?
Oh, well, we do not have any music out
Yes.
yet. But you can follow us on our Instagram. So our Instagram is Nashville Hot Chicken Music.
Okay.
Right now, yes. And then our podcast is on pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Apple Music, Spotify,
Yeah.
pretty much
and
everywhere.
I'll email you before it comes out and say, hey, it's coming out.
Oh.
Such and such. It'll probably be,
January.
yeah, because I edit it. So
Yeah, we do it all
Work.
ourselves, so it's
Yep.
a little slow, but we're just, if you got other friends that do music and you want to send them our way, we'd be happy to
Yep.
interview them. But we're so grateful that you were able to take this time to meet with us, because
Absolutely.
this is amazing. We're looking forward to seeing where you go.
Thank you so much.
We actually played at a place 3 times called Nass Hot Chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's funny.
I love
That's funny.
That's kind of our name in progress. We were like, what's our name going to be? And we were in Nashville and we're like, well, I guess it's Nashville Hot Chicken.
So we stuck. It's stuck for now anyway.
So just because the Zoom kind of sucks for
Audio,
recording
yeah.
music and audio, if you wouldn't mind sending us your songs,
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure it
Yeah.
sounds awesome.
You can
'cause
send it to our email. That's
Yeah.
perfect.
that way,
Okay.
I'm sure it's clear and we can hear you really well, because we want to put the best forward of all
Yes.
of you guys. So
Well, of course, yeah.
And if you have things you ever want us to promote on our Instagram, we're happy to do that too. And well, obviously this will go on there, but
yes, and when you
Yeah,
get your
that's the
album,
best.
get your new album out, we'll blast it all over our Instagram too.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Yay.